Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Let me move these banners out of the way here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're doing well this beautiful Sunday morning. We're doing okay, aren't we?
Yep.
Doing pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Had a pretty good night's sleep and woke up feeling a little energized, not too slow this morning. I want to welcome all of you. We're here live and in color. Let me get a little drink right before I get started. Just before I get started. Good, good. So you're like you're studious over there. You're studying.
Yeah, I'm looking for something. I know what it is, but I'm just looking again.
You're looking.
Oh.
Looking. You know that song? I'm looking for love.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
I'm looking.
I'm looking. Oh, looking for a love. Remember that song?
Yeah.
I don't know why that popped up. Anyway, let me see who's here today. If anybody's here today. Is anybody here today? Let me see. Let me see. My sissy is here. My sissy and my brother-in-law's here. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? And then there's Bernie Byrne. Bernie Byrne is here. And Dee Dee and George is here. And Sandra is here. And Kathy is here. And Kiara is here.
Yeah, good to hear and see all of you.
Brother Blue is here, and Brother Blue's getting ready to go for surgery and want you to be in prayer for him. I think I put him on the prayer list. And you guys that don't have access to that prayer list group, then you got him now. He's getting ready to go into the hospital for that. So he's been having some issues, and he's ready to get it resolved, and I'm ready for him to get it resolved. So
yes,
be okay. So we got you, Brother Blue. We're praying with you, you and the family, and it's going to turn out all right. That's what you have to know. It's going to turn out all right. It's going to turn out all right. It's just a season, and these bodies are like old cars. They break down, and you have to fix them.
That's right.
And we're a long way. Well, we're a big distance apart, and
trying to keep.
Yeah, they're okay. That's better. And let's see. Noel's here. Hey, Noel. Noel. John Grease is in the house.
Oh, greets you, Jay.
And Lisa Kelly's in the house. Hey, Lisa Kelly. Thank you, Sissy. She says she can hear us. I never think about that. She always tells us she can see and hear us. Robert Mann is in the house. Robert and Denise Chicken and Dumplers is in the house.
Uh-oh.
Jillian Kelly is here this morning. And then there's Pearl. I want to thank all of you guys for your birthday wishes and your birthday gifts through Cash App. Thank you so much. And some sent cards. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And we're still relishing in the time we had together here at the house. And that was so much fun. So much fun. We got to do it again. Got to do it again. And so let's just thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right. What am I going to do today? I think I want to start with Jeremiah 1:5.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. I'm looking at that.
You are?
I was glancing at that, yeah.
Oh, Jeremiah 1:5. Now, I don't have it on my thing, but I should know it by heart by now, much as we've talked about it. Jeremiah 1:5. Do you have it over there? You have Jeremiah 1:5? I thought to get it.
I passed through it.
So you walked through that path? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see what I got here. For those who never read Jeremiah 1:5, and I doubt if any of you that's listening to us have never read Jeremiah 1:5, but I'm going to read it. And I'm reading from the King James Version. Reading from the King James Version. And it's in the 5th verse, so that first chapter. It says, before, what was actually Jeremiah hearing God speak to him. And he said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So here we are with Jeremiah. There were 3 different declarations that God made to Jeremiah. The first one was he knew him before he was ever in a body. That's the first declaration. Good morning, Laurie. Good morning, Sister Sharon. The first declaration that God made to Jeremiah was that he was formed, he was known before he was formed in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is a biggie there, because there is, I want you to type this in if you want to type today a little bit. Type this in, I am the known one. I am the known one. Type that in. I am the known one. And type it in too. So we often associate with our bodies, but we are not the body. We are the known one, the one that God knows, the one that God knows and knew before I ever came into the womb. Getting acquainted with myself as that is a big leap for some of us, because we've never thought of ourselves apart from our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We've always thought about ourselves as a person, and some of us even believe, and I used to think the same thing, that I began when my body started.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us can maybe go back to the sperm and the egg, but even before that, God knew Jeremiah. So the physical apparatus had absolutely nothing to do with the known one.
Mm-hmm.
The known one existed, that you that is known existed, and it existed in some dimension, and it was there in God, and God knew it. So a lot of us didn't know that God knew us until we thought we got saved.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what I've been into here.
Yeah. So Jeremiah existed in the mind and the heart of God before the physical conception.
Mm-hmm.
That's before mom and daddy got together.
Mm-hmm.
This is not new about him, but it is he knew him. Your essence. He didn't just know about Jeremiah. So a lot of times we focus on the fact of being creations, being God's created beings, but that was not anything created. That body was created, but the known one was not created.
Mm-hmm.
It was not created. And then this is, I looked here, it says, God's knowledge is not reactive. He does not discover people. That's a big one. He does not discover people. God knows you, and it's not casual awareness.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's an intimate knowing. And so I think that I would like to know if any of you had the experience of your known self. Have you ever experienced being that known self apart from the body? Have you ever had the knowing or the sensing of not being your body? not being a body, not being a body and a mind or a bunch of feelings, because the known self is beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's beyond that.
And we think that being born again is when we found God,
Mm-hmm.
or we go through the religious ritual that I mentioned in the book, where you confess with your mouth and believe with your heart. That faith that we've been mechanically speaking about does not actually culminate. So we've been taught over the years that my faith is my confession.
We've used it as that,
We use
as a
it
tool.
as
Yeah,
a tool.
as a tool. Yeah.
But I asked the question, if you found God, who found you? Or were you ever found? Or will you have always been where you have always been? That never can die and never was born.
The known one.
The known. Now, here's what we run into, and this is radical for somebody who wants to be a quote, a verse, or a scripture. Jesus made this statement, and this is what the book said. But you get out of the book, and there are some people that take this book and any book and use it as a what's it called, an EI, AI,
AI.
EI,
Not EI, EI.
Mm,
Oh,
what is
AI.
that? AI. Would you believe that there are people who actually are using AI to replace
God.
God?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here it is.
Because AI answers you a lot quicker than God does.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, if I got a question, where we used to say, "Lord, show me this. Please show me this. Give me." We will now go to AI. Some of us will go
Mm-hmm.
to AI and
To
get
confirm.
to get the answers that
Uh-huh.
we need.
The word is not even in your mouth and in your heart. The word that he's talking about is not in a book.
Now we have a couple of comments, and I want to mention
Okay.
that Robert always he's saying that he's known that known self since he was 17.
Okay.
And he had an experience. I remember Robert telling me about some of it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these days, I'm going to get this rascal on here to do an interview to tell us more about it. But Lori also says, she says, yes, I'm living in that state now, the known one. I recite the Course in Miracles lesson. I am not a body. I am free. I'm still as God created me. I have always been, however, awakened to my true essence. That's good, Lord. That's good.
Now, when he says, abide in me and I in you,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if he's in you and you are the temple in the house of God, what is this thing that says, I don't have him yet? I got to get him. And now that I found him, and he told me years ago, I heard it said inside, you didn't find me, I let you discover me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And who you discover was your true self that cannot live or die because you are the life. Okay, I make it simple. Investigate into what is this that keeps you thinking? What is this thinking that God came in and was not there unless you had some type of manifestation?
Mm. What do you think is because we're so heavily identified with our body, our thought life, our feelings? We're so heavily identified with those things that we can't really experience ourselves as that.
There are hundreds of people today all around the globe that is where Sunday is, that believe that if they go to church and sit under a leader, and I'm not disrupting the idea of a pastor or the fivefold and all that, But what you're looking for does not come and go because you're in a certain place, a certain gathering. All where two or three come together are gathered. I'm in the midst. Well, if it's nobody there but just one you called by your mother's name, a person or a baby, that all of a sudden you don't exist and God does not exist because I can't feel him, I can't see him. I don't have any kind of manifestation. The mind has been pulling a trick on every one of us that if we could go to a certain place and a certain gathering, we're going to find God there. Oh, he showed up this morning. He was there this morning.
Mm-hmm.
If you get up in the morning and you feel good, if you get up in the morning and you say good morning to somebody in the house, where is God located? Like we're sitting here online talking to you. If we locate God just in Christians and in believers, that makes God a mortal being. But when you find him as the eternal self, he's immortal. My point is, you can't just omit God because you had a bad day. You can't bring him and say that he's there because everything worked out a certain way.
Yeah.
And this is what you call settling. We're talking about settling the dust. This is grown folks talk.
Yeah.
There was a man in the barbershop this week I went, and I was telling him, I said, sir, I can see the Christ in you. And he asked me and he questioned, well, he said, well, I'm trying to live the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell who that was saying that out of his mouth. I'm not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That was not his real identity saying
Right.
that.
Right.
I said, I can see Christ looking at me through your eyes. And when I went out the door, he asked the owner of the barbershop, who was that man? Well, you know, who was he? He could not accept the fact that him and God was one, and God was sitting in that barber chair, and God was in the barber, the manager of the owner of the barbershop in time.
Couldn't see that far.
He couldn't be that far.
A lot of times we talk about being born again, and you know, there are those of us who've gone through the rituals of church, Christianity, and having gone
You got
through
like that Christianity.
right, Christianity, and
Christianity.
gone through those rituals that say I'm born again, and or I'm saved or whatever, but not realizing that to be born again means I was once in one dimension and now I come from that dimension and I've landed in another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Born again means from some place, something, some concept, some thoughts and beliefs. I have moved away from those. They are dead to me now. I'm now in another frame of mind, a frame of reference, another way of seeing, another way of living. I moved into another dimension, a higher dimension. And then the scriptures actually say, except the man be born again, they cannot see. They cannot see. They cannot see. So if what I call the born again experience hasn't caused me to see, it isn't a legitimate born again experience.
That's when we started out, they said we hadn't come through until we was in a gathering of people where we can.
There are a lot of religious sayings.
That's
like
all
that.
kinds of statements.
But the point being, if you are, and you are that known one, at some point you must see yourself. You must see yourself, because in order to see yourself, there's a seeing of God. Once you see God, you see yourself.
Yeah.
And
The mind and the ego don't want you to see the truth of your identity.
and the truth is, we don't know what God looks like.
But he did
And
say he was a spirit.
he said,
If whoever said
the
that,
scriptures say he was spirit. We say God is love. What does love look like?
where did this come from?
Yeah, but love is what does love look like?
You know what? We can. I know guys don't. I see guys on television, and we did it when we started out 50 some years ago. Deliverance and casting out devils and demons. We give more power to the dark world, the dark side,
To evil. Yes, we do. Mhm.
and get out of balance of the left and the right side of the road, being in the middle, watching both of them. We turn to the left, we turn to the right. We look in the middle. God is when you is on the left, he's on the right, and he is in the middle. Matter of fact, he is inside of you. Now here's what I'm going to say. If all of our religious clienteles and avenues have proven to you that you're saved and you got the Holy Ghost, what is this to give off the idea that you got to keep getting something?
So what you're saying is, why are we still in seeker mode?
Yeah.
Why are we still in seeker mode when we should have found by now?
Yeah.
We should have found.
Now we can talk to you until your head drop off and jump back on. Unless when the book said this, now this is what the book wrote. When it pleased God to reveal his son in me from my mother's womb. We often say that if this is revealed to you by revelation, he must be special. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah 1:5, you reading it, before I was formed in the belly, he was known. Mm-hmm. By who? By his God identity. Mm-hmm. And when I say God identity, I'm not getting off into the cult. I'm not speaking false sayings. You got a Bible, you got a book, you got a Course in Miracles. You can hear what they saying from the pages. When are you going to settle the dust that God is not someone somewhere else at another time in another place? You always heard the saying, we said it years over and over again. There was somebody searching for God, went to every place in the universe and in the depths of the sea, in the highest mountain and the lowest parts of the sea, looking for God, and he never did find him until he got back home from the journey. And at the end of the journey, God was in him, as him, the whole time, searching, letting his mind think that he found God and couldn't find him because he wasn't in a location. Mm-hmm. Once I understood the big number of one and understood that when you take one away and go zero, even zero don't exist. You can't run from who you are if you are an eternal being. I read it many years and preached from it for years, of the rich man and Lazarus. And y'all hear me? That's and the Galatians 2:20. I'm crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. What is this in what how do we reproduce another person's physically if we're not in a God class?
Well, you know now, all of nature and every being on the earth reproduces.
That's right. What is that ability? What is that ability to do that? What is that ability that's in the physical body that makes hair grow on your arms and your legs? Some of it got hair on the end of our toes.
Well, and I know where you're going with it, because like back this early spring, I was out there cutting the bushes, and I cut my finger with the lopper, whatever you call that thing. I cut it, and I cut it pretty deep. I thought I was going to need a stitch, but I didn't. And it was this finger right here. You can't even see where that finger got cut.
Yeah.
You can't see it. Now, the only way I remember that it got cut is I remember the incident and the pain. I remember the blood. But I also have in there a little nerve
Yeah.
that was affected. And so every now and then I'll feel that little nerve. That little nerve will remind me that this finger got cut. But this finger healed itself.
Yeah.
It healed itself. It literally healed itself. The healing that we seek outside of ourselves is inside of us.
Mhm.
It is the body has the capability of healing itself.
It's
So
just
the power that we're looking for, we think it's afar off, and it's not. It's right here. It's right here, literally at the fingertips, literally. And he said the kingdom of God is at hand. It's right here. We are looking for all of the attributes of God somewhere outside ourselves, and the power of God outside ourselves, not knowing that it's all residing right here. And it's evident. We see it every day.
I've seen people, and online, pastors or preachers that come on with debate with anybody that talk against the King James Version of the Bible or the Course in Miracles,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing that the debate itself, well, what is it that is so competitive in us that make us feel like we kind of got something that everybody else don't have unless we don't read it out of a book. In other words, I was searching one time for years how to find God's miracle working power, how to operate in it. And some of you remember when we started, we talked about that a lot. I thought that when I went in the closet and stayed 6 and 7 hours a day for years, that I could make a change in my identity as oneness with God by spending all the time. But I didn't. Now, when I go in there, I just go in and sit down. I don't say anything because I didn't find out where he is, who he is, and his location. And that's been the same with me. When I found this, I don't have to work at it anymore.
Well, what you're saying, and I kind of wrote something down this morning. You're really talking about that. We start off, those of us who start off in the religious sense of going to church and being born again and saved and all of that. And I don't know why we're talking about that, but that's okay. Not all of you went that route, I know. But those of us who did go that route, we had intent, the intention of connecting with God in a way that we would see constant manifestation of God's power, God's intervention, God's rescuing, and what you come to understand going in the closet. Your agenda going into the closet in the beginning was totally those things. Now, when you have those times of going into the closet, what's happened is you have changed the posture of your heart. The posture of your heart is really what God wants transformed. He wants that. He wants the posture of your heart, the attitude to be changed. The agenda isn't that important. God's intent is to bring us to a place where we are living from the heart. Living from the heart. And that is not necessarily has absolutely nothing to do with manifestation.
No,
it doesn't. And so a lot of times we will pray for God to intervene in certain situations, and it may happen, it may not. But this is where we got the faith teachings from. You know, you're going to believe God, and if you had enough faith,
you see it,
you're going to be healed, and you quote enough scriptures, and you're going to be healed, and all of this stuff. But when we start to have prayers that are unanswered, God then is pointing to or targeting the ego and the false self, and his intent is to dismantle it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that dismantles the ego is loss.
Mm-hmm.
Loss. When you're losing things and things are slipping away from you, whether it be your health, whether it be your finances, whether it be your loved ones, whatever it is, loss is what crucifies ego. This is the only way to experience ego death. And the majority of us don't know who we are because we're so heavily identified with our thoughts and our feelings. And that is our egotistical mind or our egotistical self. And it is not a separate self. It's just a conglomeration of all of the things that we've accumulated, beliefs and aspirations and fears and dogmas and all of those things that's kind of lumped into a construct. And we call that a person, and we call that me.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it starts to be dismantled, it's a very upsetting dismantling.
Mm-hmm. It is.
A very upsetting dismantling, but a very necessary dismantling, because until that is lifted from your eyes, that scale is removed from your eyes, you'll believe you're all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you realize, when you come to the born again, the true born again experience, where you see that's not who you are, and you begin to see yourself as that known one, there a lot of the things that you struggled with in that egotistical mindset begins to fall away.
You are a son or a daughter of God without a confession. You are a son and daughter of God because of your essence.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody's name on his essence.
Yeah.
You are not lost and found just because you decided to come back to God by coming back to church or coming back to, I was sitting in Olive Garden one time. And while I was sitting there, one of the members of the church, I believe, during that time in the building, I was sitting in Olive Garden, and here this guy came into Olive Garden.
Had a family Bible.
I
remember that. He was carrying a family Bible.
Yeah.
We always went somewhere to eat after church. So
you were with me.
He was obviously.
You're the one that I said that was a church member.
Yeah. So we always went somewhere to eat, and there were several of us that would do it after church. And so this man was obviously coming from church. He was dressed in his suit and had his family Bible. I mean, that was the biggest Bible. I thought, we looked at that like,
that thing was huge.
So he was making a statement, I think. His statement was, I'm all about this Bible. And so, so you made that comment for what reason?
He was stuck in a physical book or belief that if somebody saw him with the Bible, they would see a man that's really close to God. And he did not, he wanted to be made known that he was saved, he was a Christian. And that book he had on the table was a proof to him that if he did not do this, he's ready to let everybody see that he's saved and got the Holy Ghost and all of that. And that was the way he would. I'm not kicking him to the curb.
No, because
that's where he was.
We have to respect where he was. He might have come from a very rough place before he entered into the church and all of that. And this was his way of saying, I'm letting all that go, and this is where I am now. So I understand that. But the posture of the heart, God's intent is to help us to position ourselves to live from the heart. And I don't think we fully understand what that means, but I do know that the majority of us, especially those listening on this line, online today, that has been your intent, to live from the heart. Let me go back and read some comments.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind. Because we got some really good ones, and I wanted to acknowledge them. Robert says divine intelligence has no image. It is the image maker. We extend with our own image maker, our imagination. Yes, and we have the same attributes, the same qualities, the same traits to create from that imaging machine. Lori says this. She says, God is in everything. I taught in a state prison years ago, and I knew God was in every young man in there, even if they didn't realize that
That's
themselves.
wonderful to hear.
Mhm. I tried to also bring the love of God in my teaching. Yes, yes, that's
I
yes.
cannot bring God or take God in some place that he is not.
Mhm.
If God is omnipotent and we use words to try to describe the indescribable,
Mhm.
but when let me go back. I had an experience, direct experience, but I have to give that covenant experience up. But it's a platform that I use
It's a
often.
point of reference.
Point of
Yes,
reference.
it is a point of reference.
I lived and was something was I that was raised up and moved and lived in seeing people come to my house every Sunday morning to get a moonshine blast, get alcohol, get drunk, and buy
It
50
was,
cent
it was,
drinks.
well, let's look beyond that. It wasn't so much to get drunk, it was their medication. They
It was
had to
medication.
have it. They had to have it.
I mean, I'm talking about a 3-room apartment that was directly down the street from one of the biggest known churches in Winston-Salem. But when they got to my house, they couldn't get no.
Yeah, they didn't make it, but
They didn't get no
but you
further.
brought that comment up for what reason?
I brought that up because when I saw the truth behind God, I can't, you can't put it in words, but I'm going to try to make this thing so real to you. I saw people get sloppy drunk where they had to leave from the kitchen. My uncle standing there leaning on a table in the kitchen, and my aunt was standing at the sink cleaning glasses out. If they want a 50-cent shot or half a pint, sometimes someone would come in there and set the house up and buy everybody in there a drink. I went to houses like that when I was drinking, running around and doing all this stuff. I didn't know God was inside. Now we've been taught you got to clean up. You don't clean up, the God don't live in no unclean temple. Well, I'm sorry, you miss God.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was inside. Christ, the eternal essence, was inside of every one of those men. Some of them would come in, they just come home on leave from the military, and they would bring their wives and they bring their girlfriends in. And I had two people in my family that owned one of the biggest moonshine houses it was in Winston-Salem. Went in where they had tables sitting around. I'm gonna go drastic and tell you what I experienced. I went to one of the houses where my mother, when I walked in, my mom was sitting at the table with her date, drinking like they was in a restaurant. I didn't know God was in them. I couldn't see God beyond the mistakes or the lifestyle that somebody lived.
Mm-hmm.
But when I had the experience of waking up to the omnipotence, omnipresence of God, I made it. I had a time dealing with being born again, say, and people come to my house, and I'm trying to say something that is beyond description. I didn't know God was in a drunk man, an alcoholic. I didn't know God was in a prostitute. I didn't know God was in a murderer. Lorianne just said that in prison she could see God in different people. And
Mm-hmm.
this has happened to me. So here, so you.
Look, can I say this? That only the heart can see
That's right.
that in others. And
I saw Jesus in them people, and I didn't know what I was looking at.
the heart has eyes. The
The
heart,
heart gets distracted.
the heart has eyes,
Mhm.
and it has eyes to see, because the heart is where love resides. And so that is what you're saying is we have focused our attention on the outer appearance so much, the outward behavior so much, till we've missed the essence of those beings, and we've believed that they were only that we see with our eyes. And so the posture of the heart is to now not so much just see God,
In a particular place, a person.
not just see God in us or that, but to now have that embodiment move forward and surface in and as us, and represent that same God to everyone that doesn't know that God is in them.
The United States is now facing the extension, what we call it, disintegrating and wiping out people in a war that's going on. And it is said, and it is true, it is a truth that only awakening people can see. If you've done it unto the least of them, you've done it unto him. Do you know there are people that are actually trying to kill something that can't die, and dying something that have always existed? There are thousands of people that are homes and all over Israel, all the way, killing people, dropping bombs and nuclear weapons and things like that, have no insight at all that they are doing the same thing to God or to Jesus that they did 2,000 years ago. There's some that are with me now would say, I don't, there are rich people in the world that'll tell you in a minute, I don't need God. I got God. My money, my wealth. I had an uncle that had practically the same idea. Long as he had a dollar bill in his billfold, and his billfold was so packed with money and the moonshine out that he couldn't close it up and put it in his pocket. He would wait to write good when people come in and he's sitting there at the table eating, and they come in and want a shot. He would get his money out of his billfold and throw it on the table. Throw it on the table and proposition women, not knowing that God was there in the house the whole time. I didn't know he was, but I know something. That it's a knowing that you cannot put on paper or describe. But I know now, without any doubt, that what Jeremiah 1:5 said, before you were formed in the bed, I knew you. That's true. That's true. Whether in the house or out of the house, that's true. In a dog house, that's true. If you live to be 40 years or 100 years, I'm telling you, when I saw this, I changed the way I looked at people.
Well, it changed the way you.
It changed the way
you didn't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
It changed the way you, the experience of it. It changed the way you look at people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and finish some of these comments, because Robert says
this.
He says, every man says, I will post this on my Facebook page. It's about this discussion, Heart of Things. Every man, your official music video. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that, Robert. He's going to use that to do his next video. Hello, Pastor Norman. Laurie says, when you are the known one, you have less attachment to outward things. Yes, we actually, when we are the known one, and we've always been the known one. That's the thing. It was like the grace of God allowed Jeremiah to to have it spoken to him.
Mm-hmm. That's the living
To
word.
have it spoken to him. And
The life
can
word.
you imagine a young boy hearing a voice that is God telling him, if the narrative is true, that before you were formed in the belly, I knew you. Can you imagine hearing that from the source?
Mm-hmm.
There was no Bible that taught it to him.
Mm-hmm.
There was no preacher. He heard that voice, that inner voice speak that to him. What in
Go ahead, Mom. Switching my belt. I'm trying to get comfortable here in these chairs. Go ahead. I done lost so much weight that I ain't got no pad on my back, and I'm trying to get
couldn't
comfortable.
tell what you were doing over there.
Just trying to fix my pants so I can be comfortable.
So Jeremiah was a young boy who heard the words before you were formed in your body, in the womb, before you were even in the womb of your mother. I knew you.
Yeah.
And how that impact of that would definitely change how he saw himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think this is where the rubber meets the road, is how do we see ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
How do we see ourselves? Do I still see myself as the little girl that grew up on Manchester?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not who I am.
That's right.
That's the experience of my body and my mind. That's the experience of my mind going through all of those different eras of my life or ages of my life. And that little girl changed every year. She was different and has been different every year. And that is not who I am, because what I am it is permanently this. It is never changing.
Mm-hmm.
And so am I still that little girl that grew up on Manchester? Am I still that little girl who experienced neglect? Am I still that little girl who experienced some abandonment? Am I still that little girl that didn't get to experience this or that? Am I still that little girl that experienced my mom and dad fighting all the time? Am I still that little girl? What am I now?
Okay.
Am I that?
Am
I that? Am I that little girl who men chased and I had to run away from? Some caught me. Am I that little girl? Am I that little girl who went to school, who didn't have the right clothes and didn't have the lunch money and the notebooks? And am I still that little girl? Do I still want to identify as that, even though it's a part of my story? Do I want to be that? Do I want to be that one that was abused? Do I want to be that one? Do I want to be the one now that is 78? Do I want to be that? Do I want to be the one whose skin color changed? Do I want to be that? Do I have to be that? Do I have to be that? Or am I going to be the one that's known that is not that, but I live with the experience of that? So now I see all of those things the little girl went through. That all of those are experiences, but that's not who I am.
That's not who you are.
No, none of that is who you are.
Right now, at this present moment, I'm sitting here beside you. But at the same time, I am awareness.
Yes, you are.
I'm a knowing, a realist reality that this you that I met 57 years ago is the same. It may look different because of age and time.
The body looks different.
But I still see you in the present moment as somebody that I just met.
Right.
When we was in our 20s.
Yeah.
You're the same, and your appearance.
My essence is the same.
Yeah, your appearance has not changed.
Only the essence doesn't change.
My knowing who you are, sitting here beside yourself.
Yes, yes. So now, what you are an eternal being. You are an eternal being. That means one that will never die. One that was never born. It was existed before the birth of a body. You are an immortal being. You're beyond physical death. You are a non-physical being. You're a multidimensional being, meaning you're in more than one dimension at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You are vibrational beings, meaning you are vibrating all the time and sending out frequencies all the time, all the time. And you are extensions of the source. Whatever God is, it is the source. You are extensions of that. It's like the rays that came from the sun. They're not the actual ball of the sun, but they're the same rays that come from that sun.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the ones that bring the warmth. So this is what you are. We have misconceived of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to have, we were talking yesterday and last night about the potluck thing that we had just recently, where people brought food and we all were here, and Robert and all of us was here, and all of my old friends in the church was
you
here.
had so much fun, didn't you?
And we want to do that again, whether you bring anything to eat or not.
They're going to bring some food.
But that's okay. That's okay. but when you come, I want to do that again. And I want it to sit down in front of the Christ inside of all of us and watch a series, a class online, where somebody's actually talking about who we really are from a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I had so many Christ people, Christ beings, 30, 40, 50 people at least in this house. Was no different than me being in that building we had in Greensboro.
Right. The place had nothing to do with it.
250 people or whatever it was.
Right. Right. Place has absolutely nothing to do with
it. There is a rest that I've entered into about God and who He is. We got people who have family reunions. And these family reunions is bloodline people getting together in the physical world to honor. I honor the Christ in you, whether you in a house reunion or a church reunion. I am grateful that I would not have, if the Christ in you hadn't recognized the Christ that was in me that morning when you said, I want you to go to church with me. We dating during that time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to church with you because I wasn't ready to what you call live right.
Yeah.
But that didn't change anything.
Right.
So the next time, I went with you one time. The next time, you want me to go again. But this next time, you didn't have to ask me.
Right. Because your eyes had come open.
That one time.
Yes, your eyes had come open, and all of a sudden, the posture of your heart changed. It changed. I want to do this before we go up, because we've been on here a while, baby.
It's amazing.
Pastor Baby. We've been on here a while.
She called me baby.
There was, and I've done this, I've shared this with you guys before. There was, the sage was talking, and he's always talking to others about knowing who they are. And there was one that came up and sat before him and asked him, who are you? And this is how he answered. And I wrote it down because I thought this is so much truth in the way that he responded. And it'll help you. So I'm going to read it. This is how he responded. He said, I cannot say what I am, but I can tell you what I am not. He said, I am not my thoughts. Say that with me. I am not my thoughts.
I am not my thoughts.
I am not my feelings.
I am not my feelings.
I am not my opinions.
I am not an opinion.
I am not a judgment.
I am not a judgment.
I am not this body.
I am not this body.
And he said this, he said, I'm not this body, but I'm happy with this body.
Yeah.
With its aches and its pains. He had accepted, this is the body that I live in. This is the body that I wear. And I accept this body with its aches and pains. I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I cherish it. I take care of it. I am the steward of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's here for me to make to navigate in this dimension. It's
Mm-hmm.
here so that I can touch others in this dimension. So I appreciate this body.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I am no particular experience. Say that. I am no particular experience.
No particular experience.
I don't care what experience you had and how good it was. You are not that experience because that experience came and left.
Yeah.
It came and left, and now it is a memory. Anything that comes and goes cannot be what you are.
I'm looking at something now, and it said many of us meet God in mountaintop moments, a powerful experience with the living God, but then don't know how to move forward from that experience.
That's right. So I am not a particular experience. I am not an object that I can see. I am not an object. What you are cannot be seen with the eye.
No.
It cannot be seen with the eye. I am not an object that I can see or imagine because they appear to me. I am not the witness. I am the witness of them. Then he said this, I am not anything that can be constructed. Anything that was added or built or made to add it to the me that I am cannot be what I am. I am not anything that is constructed. What?
The real church. Y'all see that online? What
You want me to say it? Okay.
Yeah, the real church.
All right. Jillian says the real church was in your house. It was not the building built by stone, but the church built by spirit and love.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's right.
I see it.
That's it.
When I go in the closet now, if I go for the quiet time, that don't mean that when I'm not in the closet, I'm not still one with God and God one with me.
Right.
But he that finds God as one finds himself as God being one.
Yes.
Without the ego.
Yes.
Or what if the ego do step in? A conditioned or unconditioned ego. Either way, you are still the same. You can't just stop God from being in a place if he's omnipotent.
Right. Now I'm going to finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
This is what the sage said after the guy asked him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I cannot point to any particular form and say that this is what I am."
Yep.
I am not any form. Although, now remind you, he's looking at himself as the known one. That was before the body was formed, before he was formed in the womb. So he said, I am not any form. I am not any form. Although I'm present in the forms. And he didn't just stop with the one form. He's present in all forms. As the known, you are present in all forms because there is no boundary to you. There is no place where you are not. You are the same as the source who is omnipresent, omniscient. You are the same as that known one. I am not any form, although I'm present in the forms. I could not even perceive God or Christ if I didn't exist. They appear to me. They also appear to me. There is no judgment about this and no hierarchy. The supreme power that has made and given the capacity for introspection and contemplation. That's why I see myself the way I see myself. Then he said this, I am not the conditioning that grew up with this body.
That's right. We had somebody here at the house yesterday that we talked about this.
Yes. I am not the conditioning that grew up with this body and all the things that came into this memory. I'm not that. I'm not that. Some things He said this: some things I would like to forget, but I cannot. But I've seen them to be insignificant. They're just a part of his life story and not who he is. They're just a part of his life story.
Right.
I am not any object. I am not any race. This body is some race, he said. He said, I am no pattern. That to me was an absolute seeing of who you are and a non-identification with only the body and the mind. And this is the embodiment of walking from the heart, living from the heart, walking in love. This is the embodiment of Christ being represented through and by us as units, individual units in this earth.
Now, we can talk about this until the cow jump over the moon.
Yeah.
How diddle the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. And you still won't see it until the Christ in you sees himself as you in his identity.
I love what John said. He said, I am the particular one that says, hit the like love button.
Look out, Grayson. You're a rough man today.
Good for you.
Look, we want to say to you guys.
That one. You are that one.
We thank you for being the beingness and allowing the Christ in you to join the Christ in us and others who will not and have not identified himself as being in this class in our teaching. We've got a lot of short films and a lot of information on Facebook of our classes, YouTube and all that. We're not trying to fight anybody or make anybody feel like we got it and you don't. There's no such thing. That don't even exist. The illusion is that you got something, you say something that is not in my Bible. That book has been changed so many ways to manipulate and control people into the ego mind, ego spirituality that makes everybody think. I used to think that God had special people that was called to be evangelist, pastor, prophet, and teacher, when I found out that the prophet, pastor, and teacher is the Christ self in every one of us. But everybody don't express it the same way.
Right. Some people don't even express it from the point of view of church.
That's right. Yeah. But it's okay. Yeah. I found out how to let the Christ in me be okay and the Christ in you be okay.
So this week, live from the known ones. I want you to do your bestest to see yourself as the known one, the one that was known by God before it was formed in a body.
That's right.
See yourself.
That's where all of us originated. We came from the same source. And the same source came from us.
We're all a part of God's garden. I said this to my sister when she was visiting me. What we are is God's garden. And in God's garden, there's some poison ivy, some weeds, but that doesn't stop God from enjoying and loving his garden. And none of the flowers in the garden are fighting the weeds. None of them are fighting the ivy, the poison ivy. They're all existing together because God sees his garden as beautiful.
Now, thank you for the love of your expression in the physical realm of giving and helping us to keep things going at the house. We are grateful for those of you who have sent stuff through faith, Cash App, and through mail, whichever way you choose.
Giving to the church, your offerings and your tithe.
I don't want to forget this. There's a brother we have that called us, and we couldn't get to the phone last night because Brother Blue is in the hospital, and he's asking for the prayers and the affirming. And I can only say to him, thank you for your faithfulness, even in moments of surgery and physical determined, you have been faithful with us for years, and some of the rest of you out there the same way. Thank you for the love gifts. Thank you for the sharing. We got things coming up here at the house that we need your help spiritually and financially.
Yes, we
And
just briefly, we found some foundation cracks on our house. We have a structural engineer coming tomorrow. So be
and
in
that's
agreement with us that
the funds to
it
pay
won't,
him.
well, not only that, just be in agreement with us, seeing that the house is not falling apart. I don't think it is, but it was discovered during the time we were trying to get the crawl space done.
Mhm.
So just be in agreement with us. We're in agreement with Brother Blue as well. And I wanted to mention what John Greason said,
Mhm.
which is really good. John, you're about to preach a little bit. He says, before the belly, I knew each and every one of you on this podcast.
That's right.
That's good, John.
I always tell
That's
people
good.
that I thank you for coming to earth into this story and allowing us to meet again. I tell people, I said, I knew you
Mhm.
before you were formed in the belly. We all came
I
from
like
the same
that. I
place.
like that, John. I like that.
Yeah.
Pastor Norman, will you be with us on Tuesday night? We missed you last Tuesday,
Yeah.
but we managed, but we love to have you with us again on Tuesday night. Give me a thumbs up, young man, if you're going to be with us. And I always enjoy a conversation with Pastor Norman.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys be safe out there. Be the beingness of God in knowing, feeling good or feeling bad.
Lord, we're grateful for you too, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us this morning.
Pastor Norman said he'll be there live and in color.
All right.
We'll see you guys again on Tuesday at 7. Lord willing, nothing happened. We'll be right back.
Right there on the turnaround, John Greason.
Mm-hmm. And
Robert, on the turnaround.
Jillian's affirming with us that what we need is showing up. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And she's doing that for Brother Blue as well. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you guys. And we'll see you on Tuesday. We'll see you, as you said, on the turnaround.